Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Friday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker, somewhere in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey, and down by the water, somewhere in beautiful New Jersey, in Short Sky. I'm your host, Sam Wu, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils take on the Winnipeg Jets, the WJs, in Winnipeg. A big showdown between an elite team and your New Jersey Devils, who are trying to solidify a playoff spot, third in the Metropolitan Division. I think that's as high as they can go. But, man, it's getting close down to the wire this season. I think this is the 74th game of the season, Shorts.
Yeah. It's it's about time that they solidify this playoff spot. But, you know, they're also the Jets are in, but they're only 4 points up on the Dallas Stars. So the Jets need this game as much as the Devils do to keep their space in between them and the Stars. So it's going to be a really good game because both teams are fighting for something tonight. And I'm trying to look up if I can find the star. I'm assuming it's going to be Hellebuck for the Winnipeg Jets. I'm looking that up because I know it's looking like, courtesy of Max earlier today, that we're going to see Jake Allen starting in it tonight.
Oh, good. And our good friend AJ Visco says, Sam, I wish I had some popcorn listening to you and Nick about Nemitz. LOL. Last night's podcast. What's
you
that?
guys are ripping on him?
Not Nick. He was defending him. I was ripping on him. I mean, I just tore him apart, and I felt bad because every time Nick wanted to say something, you know what? I'm like that. You know, that debate politician. I cut him off. And like, you know, he'd be like, well, you know, no, he sucks. You know, he couldn't get it.
You want to know it? And I just taught my kids the other day. Debate was a vocab term. And I said, you know what, guys? We don't know what a debate is anymore because it's not the loudest person shouting. That's not a debate. But then again, here you go, Sam. You're just kind of falling into that trap of, oh, I'm going to shout at somebody. But then again, Sam,
that's how the younger generation works. It's the whoever barks the loudest.
Yeah, well, that's not the way a debate should work. But it seems like
I'm
you
just
always
telling
like
you
to
the
take...
trends. I'm just telling you the trends. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, listen, trends are trends, but it's also not how it is. But I do know you like to take the opposite side. But I know that also Nemec has some work to do, and he's in the lineup tonight. And I'm being pretty generous by saying he has some work to do because it's you know, he's definitely got to do something. But
he's got to, you know, if you're going to do something dirty, make sure the refs are not looking at you. Yeah.
And also, you know, make sure you're not being a -3 in the last 7 minutes of the game. But, you know, we got to let that horse go. But he's matched up tonight with Brendan Dillon. And Dumoulin and Kovacevic is looking like they're a pair tonight. And then even though he didn't skate this morning, looks like Luke Hughes is matched with Pesce again, which is good.
Oh, good.
The rest of this morning's lines were Palat, Heischer, Mercer, Haula, Mercer, Bratt. Excuse me, Palat, Heischer, Meyer. If I could read, it's been a long day, Sam. Haula, Mercer, Bratt, Cotter, Dowling, and Nason, and then we have Tatar, Lazar, and Bastian. Those are your lines for tonight, and I'm trying to still find out if we're going to have Hellebuck starting for the Jets, which I'm assuming that we will, but you never know. So I'm looking that up. But it should be a pretty good game, and I want to, you know, Sam, we can't fail to say hello to everybody in the chat. So what's going on, everybody? Torts getting fired. Yeah, AJ, we saw that. Torts is canned. What else we got? Serve saying funny how we all been talking him up and he's get fired. Yeah, I guess that's about Torts. So, yeah, seems like we're talking more about Torts than our New Jersey Devils, which are playing in Winnipeg tonight.
I would love to see Torts in some capacity with the New Jersey Devils, especially especially trying to develop Simon Nemec. I'm sure the yelling and screaming in his ear is not going to do anything.
Oh, man. Listen, if Nemec turns into a solid defenseman, I'll be happy. But he's got a lot of learning to do, and he's got a real short leash at this point. Well, you would say he has a short leash, but to keep putting him out there even after mistakes, he's got to learn quick and he's got to adapt quick. Otherwise, he's going to be finding himself somewhere else.
I think he's going to be worse than Ryan Murray. I mean, you're second overall.
Oof.
I just don't want just a solid D guy. I want a Cale Makar. That's what I want.
I know. I would love that too.
I mean, look at Luke Hughes, 4th overall. I'm not saying he's Cale Makar, but he's in that class.
Mm-hmm.
What about Simon Nemec?
Not yet. I would love to see him, but having seen him live and in person, it's just he hasn't looked good. He's looked lost at times, and he's making mistakes, like dumb mistakes. But it seems like that's not uncommon for a lot of our defensive core. I mean, Kovacevic has been making mistakes too. So, but it seems like Nemec is making more than the rest of them.
Yeah. But just remember one thing. I mean,
yeah.
Over the summer, he could mature and hang out with the right people, do the right training, do the right conditioning, get the mentorship, and it can all change.
It can
next season.
I
never said that he's not talented. I just think
he's wildly talented.
I think his attitude and how he's approaching his professional career, I think, is off. And that's just it just makes me pissed off. It makes me pissed off. And and he kind of gets a pass because D guys take longer to develop to be a starter in the NHL. So I'll give him that. And he's away from home, and in some respects, and I'll even defend Nemec here. Sometimes you like the little bit of a cockiness. Sometimes you like a little bit of that. But you got to know when to listen to your coaches. You got to know when to, start, working on your craft in the minors instead of wanting to be Mr. NHL and tell the press that, again, I'm going to be harsh on you. If you want to be Mr. NHL, prove it. He hasn't proven it yet.
I'm still of the belief that he was baited into that question, and plus that interview was translated from his native language to English. So it wouldn't shock me if that question was baited. So I don't know if that was necessarily his words or if he would have chosen to say those words given the opportunity again, having been asked the question again. You know what I mean?
True. You make a good point there. At the same time, it's the whole body of work and behavior that leads me to believe that he did say that. So, it's
possible.
But people think I hate the kid where I don't want him to succeed. No, his success is our success. I'm just frustrated that, he had all this time in the minors to work on his craft. Instead, he thinks about, it's all about the points. And, now he has an opportunity that nobody foresaw. Dougie Hamilton and Siegenthaler going down with injury. That now, had he worked on his craft, he wouldn't be so naive, in these situations. And what happened in the last game against the Blackhawks? You're lucky that you played the Blackhawks. You had a 2-0 lead, and take an unnecessary penalty. And then it's 2-1. It changes the entire momentum. It changes the entire dynamics of the game at that point, at that junction. And then, the Connor Bedard thing. Look, I don't mind, roughing up, players every once in a while. He held his stick. I get it. But at the same time, the refs are looking. You're just lucky they didn't call a penalty on you.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of penalties you take are the ones in front of the crease defending your goaltender. Those are good investments. But open ice like that, not so much. Especially the league's darling that the refs are going to protect.
Yeah. Speaking of taking penalties that you should, your cousin Marty took a penalty that was needed last night on a breakaway, which I probably would have had the opportunity to stop, but he still
took a penalty?
saw the one of a few last night. But the one he took that I'm referring to in the third period, it was one of those defensive penalties where you kind of have to take it because of the opportunity that's in front of you, and that's really which those are the penalties you should as a defenseman be taking, not the dumb ones. We've seen Kovacevic take, he took 2 dumb penalties the other night as well. So,
well, Marty's a smart D guy. My cousin Marty, he plays good defense. Your cousin Marty, but he also knows where to buy Toyotas, and that's Town
Where's
Toyota.
That?
It's Town Toyota in beautiful Edgewood, New Jersey, off of Route 46, where you can see David Decker. Yes, that David Decker, the red guy, at Town Toyota, beautiful Edgewood, New Jersey, off of Route 46. I know that Route 80 sinkhole, another 5 weeks. They're saying for westbound lanes and eastbound lanes by exit 34 is about 7 to 8 weeks. But hey, if you take Route 46 in that area near Mine Hill, Randolph, Wharton, or whatever, and you travel Route 46 west, that goes parallel with Route 80.
Mm-hmm.
You pass was it Cliffs?
It's right next to Cliffs.
Yeah, Cliffs. Muldoons. Is this still Muldoons? I believe
it is.
Yeah,
it
Muldoons.
Is.
Great food at Muldoons. And then there's David Decker, Town Toyota in beautiful Edgewood, New Jersey. Podcast fans, the Let's Go Devils podcast fans buy their Toyotas from David Decker.
Yes, they do. And your cousin Marty just put a deposit down for a Tacoma, just like mine. So,
wow,
it's where to go for a Toyota. And
do they still make the Toyota Tercel?
That's a good question for David Decker of Town Toyota.
I need to buy a cheap Toyota, like something that was inexpensive. And then David Decker be like, yo, I'll get you a RAV4 for the Tercel price. Anyway.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We got a Devils game tonight, though, Sam. We've given our plugs. Got a Devils game going on. The Devils have to win this one. This is one of those things. Sheldon Keefe said this team's got to be pushed, and it was. Although I didn't see much of the game the other night because I was on the ice myself, the Devils did finally get that win for Markstrom in Chicago. It wasn't easy, but they got it, and they got to build on that tonight. We're seeing Jake Allen tonight, so I'm assuming we'll have to see Markstrom tomorrow, and it's escaped me where we are tomorrow. But we're in Winnipeg tonight. Minnesota, thank you. Yeah, so with Jacob Allen tonight, we'll see how he plays. We'll see how these lines go. And talk about someone who I had to defend on Hockey on Tap on Monday, picking up the scoring recently. Timo Meier, Sam, is popping goals in when we absolutely need it right now. And I'm happy to see it.
I wish I could go back to the recording of the Will Report about 2 months back, 2.5 months back. And I was like, don't worry about Timo Meier. I remember saying, don't worry about Timo Meier. He'll break out. And he has. He's going to have a great second half. And,
last quarter.
No, second half of the season, meaning like after
of the season. Okay,
yeah.
True.
Yeah,
true. Yeah. It's Billy Dean was trying to bait me in a question of, have you accepted it's a bad contract? And I'm like, no, because he's doing.
I'll tell you what, that's just Sturkin contract.
That's a bad contract.
And you know what?
He tried making a comparison to Zibanejad. I'm like, no. I'm like, he's doing a lot of good things that's not showing up on the score sheet. And then his immediate response is, I hate that excuse. But you know what? Yeah. You can ask anyone that was watching Hockey on Tap the other night. I tried to defend as best as possible. But he he's popping some goals in. I mean, he immediately scored 2 on Monday night after that. And this is where he needs to show up because this is the time the Devils absolutely need him. And he's got to earn that contract. I know he's doing a lot of great stuff off the score sheet. We're also paying him to score, and he's been scoring as of late, and he's got to continue that tonight. I think that's going to be a key today, is Timo Meier scoring some goals tonight.
People are talking about Cliff's ice cream and Ben & Jerry's. Let me tell you, there's no better ice cream than Penn State Creamery ice cream, which I have limited now. We went from 4 buckets now to 1. We have the Peachy Paterno. Penn State is I'll tell you, the creamery over there, it goes from cow to table in the same day. So you can milk the cow at 5 a.m. and the ice cream's out at 2 p.m. at the creamery, and you can have it to your table by 4 p.m. the same day. That's how fresh it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to milk the cow and have ice cream later on that day. Not bad.
Yep.
Not bad.
All right, so let's whatchamacallit? Let's get your predictions in. I want to see predictions. I see Johnny Dankson saying hello. Nick Adams saying that Timo, Palat, Mercer, Holla, Kovacevic are all overpaid by a bad GM. I would take Timo out of there because he can command more on the open market. Palat, bad contract. Mercer, that's a bridge contract. I wouldn't say it's bad. I think it's a little bit pricey. Holla, again, I think Holla and Palat, their contracts are going to be really based on what they do in the playoffs. Because if they start scoring goals in the playoffs and they start, performing, then it might even itself out.
And Holla is pitching in recently with the goal scoring as well. So it's not like he's been he disappeared for a very long part of the season and he was hurt on top of that. But he scored some goals in the last couple games as well. So he's starting to produce as well. And this is what we've been kind of hoping for is to get everyone involved in the scoring. We get Cotter to heat up again. You get Lazar and Bastion to start scoring some stuff. Add in Nason. You have Timo. If you get Timo Meier to score, it's going to wind up being a pretty good, scoring setup for this Devils, which have struggled to score. And it's just what they tonight they're going to have to really try because Hellebuck seemed to have our number last time we played them at home. So they're going to have to really kind of really be smart tonight and just shoot the puck too. It's got to happen.
Yeah. All right, so let's read out some of these scores. Joseph Lanham says 4-2 Devils. Ted says 5-4 Devils. 5-3 Devils. Yep. Two Timo goals, says Jim Norton. Ben & Jerry's, actually they are Penn State alum, by the way. That's why they know how to make ice cream. Michael Rossi says 3-2 Devils. Brooke Amanda says 1-0. Don't know which way. 4-3 Devils in OT, says Serve. 8-0 Jets, says Nick Adams. -2 Devs in Reg. 3, I don't know what you're saying. Beachmaster. 3-2, he says. Okay. Jay Snow says 4-1 Jets. Eddie says 4-2. So something over Penn State. 32 Devils. 3-2 Devils. Don't mess with Penn State. Shorts guy could vouch for this. I become an animal, like a lion, like tearing up a hyena.
Like Long Island Ryan when it comes to Ohio State.
Yeah. Selected Boy says 4-3 Devils. Ramona, love you, Ramona. Welcome back. 3-2 Devils. Steve Engel, Big Steve Engel, who is afraid to talk to Alejandra the other day. 3-2 Devs. Service protecting 3 bad penalty calls. Love to see Ramona in the chat.
There she is.
I was worried about her because, all those hurricanes and storms out in the Midwest and all that, and we didn't hear from her, and I'm like, oh, crap. But I'm glad you're okay, Ramona. We do think about you off air, and we were just like, where did Ramona go? Yeah. Let's see here.
And Service saying 3 bad penalty calls tonight. I want to say Kovacevic and Nemec probably have 1 each of those 3. The other one is TBD.
6-5 Dev says Kennedy Ray. First time listener or first time commenter, I guess. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to our YouTube channel, just hit subscribe. All right. Johnny Danks, I got to answer this question before we get our predictions. Johnny Danks, hey, Sam, what was your favorite Cup win? 95, 2000, 2003. I'm going to ask Shorts Guy that question.
It's easy. 95 because I was there.
I'll tell you what. 95 was special because it was the first time.
Yep.
2000, from a hockey purist standpoint, was probably the most brutal way to win the Stanley Cup. You're down 3-1 to the Flyers. It was a battle. Even the fans fought in the parking lot. I was there. I was, throwing. I almost said that. I almost swore. I was throwing stuff at Flyer fans. I remember, those air horns blowing it in right in their ears to try to make them deaf. Like, that's how brutal that series was.
It was bad.
But 2003 probably for me, from a personal standpoint, was the best because I had season tickets, and from start to finish, we went end to end from preseason. Hans got kicked out of the preseason game, the first preseason game that year in 2002.
Look at the look of shock on my face about that.
Oh, I thought you were like pointing at the mic. You can't hear me. Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Look at the look of shock on my face that Hans would be kicked out of the game.
So what happened was,
the first preseason game.
I think Hans broke the paper towel dispenser, and he got thrown out. I'm like trying to call him. Remember, I had a StarTAC phone back then. I'm trying to figure out, and his phone was dead. So he was back drinking at the tailgate. And then Game 7, nothing beats a Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the most memorable. My buddy Ferris told me he was there in 95. And he's like, Sam, this is what it's like. It's going to be a surreal moment when the cup comes out. It's going to be the shiniest object you've ever seen in your life, and it's going to feel like a movie. And he was absolutely correct. It felt like a movie. It felt like a movie. And then we booed Gary Bettman. And then we booed him even harder when they gave Jaguar the Conn Smythe. Should have been shared between him and Brodeur. It really should have, because
I don't think they've ever done that.
What, split the
Conn Smythe? I don't think it's ever been done.
Well, they should. So, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then the Lindros hit around the world in 2000. That was great. Also, the double overtime victory, which I was hoping to see a triple overtime victory in that Game 5 in 2000, which I was there, and I didn't go to the bathroom the entire time because I was superstitious that Dallas would score if I went to take a leak. Anyway, your prediction for tonight's game against the Winnipeg Jets?
I'm going to predict a tight one. You have Hellebuck in net, Jake Allen in net. He's been our better of the two goaltenders as of late, which I don't think anyone would have predicted, aside from you, Sam Wu, a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say the Devils are going to win 4-3 tonight in Winnipeg.
I was going to say the same thing because I've seen Connor Hellebuck let down his country.
Yes, you have.
Yeah,
you have, and in person.
In person.
Only to come home with nothing but sickness.
Yes. Let's not go there. It was a disaster.
I know.
If anybody wants to know what happened after the Four Nations, what happened to, let's just say, you can find me at American Whiskey on Monday, and I'll tell you.
Yep.
It was bad. It was bad. I thought the loss was bad, but what transpired that week, you could have a worse week. Oh, it's terrible. I was so helpless.
You were.
Yeah.
You really were.
And I wasn't even on air. I wasn't even on air for that week.
I know.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, you want to talk about having a bad week? That was a bad week. Anything that could go wrong could go wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you.
Yeah. But that's okay. I've recovered since then. All right. Well, I want to thank all those tuning in.
What's your prediction?
Oh,
didn't give
crap. I forgot. No, I said 4-3. I said 4-3.
Oh, 4-3. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going the same one tonight. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not copycatting you because that was in my head.
That's fine.
But it's the same as yours. Great minds
think alike.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
Yep.
On the same page with that.
Yep. Bird flu. Jeez. Beachmaster. Beachmaster's got the negativity. I want to ask Beachmaster before we go, what do you think about Simon Nemec? I hope that negativity comes out. Let's see here. 1-0.
I say we wrap it up.
Yeah, sorry.
Brooke means 1-0 as a Devils win, so it would be Jake Allen with another shutout.
Telling you. I think she's turned the corner about Jake Allen.
Oh, she has turned the corner. I can tell you that.
It must have been the Girl Scout story. It must have been. It must have been. 4-3 Blue Qs. Oh no, Shorts. Well, I got these like banner ads. Suddenly, like, just invaded my board. Anyway,
that's not good.
Anyway. Oh, wow. Nemec is good with Beachmaster. Okay. Sean McIntyre says 4-1 Jets. I hope they prove me wrong. Okay. Well, thank you, Sean.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sean. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils. And we're out of here. Devils After Dark after the game. Scotty is Sirius XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. Till next time, let's go Devils.